Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a sponging template out of your Rose Wonder die set. Now the Rose Wonder die set comes along with a stamp set as a bundle in the New Occasions catalog. So what I'm doing for demonstration purposes is using this die to show you how to create a sponging template along with this one. I do have a completed template out of this die, so I am now working on creating one with this little one, and I'm going to do that along with you. For the larger one, as you can see here, I've created a partial stamping of it. I didn't use the longer leaves on here, and I've used my sponging template to do this. And all I did was I took a piece of cardstock, Whisper White, and I laid my template down and used my sponge daubers. And on this particular one I used Wisteria Wonder and Perfect Plum along with Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive. And when you remove your template, this is what you get. Now you'll notice here, not sure if you could see the shimmer on camera. I have completed most of it. I have one layer left. I just wanted to do this before I finished it to show you what it looks like with and without the Wink of Stella. So I'm going to finish this last petal so you can see. Now the Wink of Stella, I'm using the clear, is also in our New Occasions catalog, and it is basically just a glitter brush that adds a touch of glitter to any color of ink that you have on your paper. The clear is perfect for if you want to keep the color of ink showing, and we also have gold available. So with this done, I'm going to set this piece aside and show you how to actually create a full template using the smaller one. And what I did was basically run the die through the Big Shot 2 times. So here's the first time, and I got rid of all of the inside pieces, and I'll show you what I did with the inside pieces just so that you don't waste them. And then I laid the detailed piece back into the cardstock that I cut it out, and I used the Stampin' Up! Tear and Tape and just put the tape around the rose to connect the detailed piece back into the main frame of this, just to keep it intact. Now I did die cut it one more time, okay, and when I die cut the second piece, I actually took a piece of press and seal. This is the Glad press and seal, and I actually got this idea from Jennifer McGuire, who did this using her letters, and just in order for her to line up a word if she was spelling something out. So what I did here on the second one is lay the entire thing and just rub it on your press and seal, and then you're going to peel this off. Now the reason I'm showing you this is so that you don't lose your inside pieces. So now I have my outer template. What I'm going to do with this second piece is I'm going to remove all of these backings from my tear and tape. On the first one that I did, one more, and now I'm going to take the second cutout and I'm going to match it up to the first one. Now since the tear and tape was already on there, it'll adhere in certain places. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is take a piece of scratch paper and I'm going to put this entire piece on there. Now you'll see here on my press and seal piece, I want to remove the outlined piece, the detailed piece. Now I'm going to do this carefully, and I'm going to hold down the inside pieces of the petal as I do this so they stay stuck onto the press and seal. Now, if it helps, you could use a pair of craft tweezers just to keep the inside pieces down as you pull. Now, this may be a little bit time consuming, but it is definitely less time consuming than transferring all of these little pieces on the insides one by one into another colored frame, and I'll show you what I mean. So now you can see that all these pieces are on my press and seal. And now I've outlined some of them just so that you could see them. They're outlined in pen. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the back of this rose, and on my scratch paper I'm going to use my two-way glue pen and cover the back with the glue. Once this is done, I'm going to remove this entire rose, and now I'm going to put it like a piece of puzzle on top of the first one. Now you're just lining everything up. This literally is like a puzzle piece. You just put it in where it belongs. Now you're wondering why I did it 2 times. Why do I do 2 layers? Well, when I did this first one and I did 1 layer, the rose pieces on the inside started to move around. It was very flimsy, and I found that having 2 makes it a little sturdier when you use it to sponge. So here is your second sponging template. So on this one I just called it Rose Wonder Sponging number 1, and I'll do this Rose Wonder Sponging 2, and what I will do is I will keep this in my stamp set with the stamp case. So now these will get stored very easily so they don't get lost in my stamp case right there. And that's how you create your stamping template. Now this inset piece is very simple to deal with. Now remember, this is the top of our flower. All you have to do is fold your press and seal right over so that now the stickiness is on the top of your flower. Turn it over, and you're going to open this from the back, and you're going to hold down all these pieces so that they don't move, so that now the rose pieces are upside down. And it does get kind of tacky, but it's not permanent. It won't rip your paper. Just hold the pieces down as you go. Okay, so now you have this upside down. Now you can do 2 things here. You could cut another rose in a different color and remove the border of that color and then place it face down on this, and then take your two-way glue pen, make sure you adhere everything, you put glue on everything, and then put a piece of cardstock on the back and remove your press and seal off of the cardstock and then cut around it, and then it's all adhered on one piece. So as you could see, I did this one on a piece of very vanilla, and I just used whatever scraps I have available. That's one thing you can do. Another option you have is to sort of create a faux texture paste card, and this is one that I did using the large die. And what you're really doing is basically now I'm going to demonstrate with the small one only because this one's complete. What you're doing is you are going to take this small die and you're going to basically cover all of this with your two-way glue pen. Now that's done. And let's pretend this is my card base that I'm going to use. Now since the glue is on the back and this is clear, I can see where I'm going to place my rose. So I want this rose right there. And you just press down and then remove your press and seal. Whoops. You may have to just hold a couple of these pieces down. Now I'm in a rush for the time purpose on this video, but I would wait a couple of minutes just for the two-way glue pen to dry on the cardstock. And there you have your rose. And what you can do now is take any ink pad that you have and you can sponge with your dauber right on top. Now this is a mess only because I'm in a hurry to meet the time for this video. And you can do the same with the large one, which is what I did here. You will need a longer piece of press and seal in order to be able to flip this upside down when you use the large one. And I like doing this technique on the black only because it looks like the black magic technique with colored pencils, and it also looks like faux texture paste, even though it really isn't. And then when you color on here with your sponge dauber, you really don't see color come off, whereas when you do it on a colored piece of cardstock it may show, unless you're really careful. The other thing you could do is take your markers and just color this in rather than use your dauber. Now that's another way to do this. It may take a little longer, but something to think about. Well, thank you for joining me, and I hope this technique helped you. Join me soon for another video.